Hi everyone, this is Yulia again, Why Change channel, and today I want to talk to you about what business analysts need to be able to do their job well. I know we always talk about how business analysts should accommodate stakeholders, how business analysts should support customers, how they need to listen to the customers, how they need to support their team and be leaders and facilitators, and all of those are very important. But today I want to turn things around and talk about you as a business analyst and what do you need to be able to do your job well, to be able to feel satisfaction from your job, and to actually be able to deliver those results that are expected of you. Because just like any employee, just like any professional, you need some supports in place for you to be able to do your job. You need to have that environment. And of course, you have a say in what you need to be able to do your job, and you have to ask for it. And sometimes you have to advocate quite vocally for your needs. So today, consider it like a little bit of an empowering session for you, because sometimes if you don't advocate for your needs, nobody else might do it, whether because they are too busy or because they don't even know what you need. Okay? So whether you are a junior, whether you're a senior, you still have those needs. Sometimes with seniority, it's a little bit easier for us to advocate for those needs. When you're a little bit more junior, you may be more shy or apprehensive about speaking up. But I think you should, because if you don't get what you need to do your job well, you will not be able to do your job well, right? So first thing that we want to talk about today is information. Without information, you cannot do analysis. Without information, you cannot do your job. So if you're starting a new project, you need to ask for information. The project background, a discovery session, access to documentation, access to data and analytics. You need to have that information that helps you understand current state, understand business problem, understand different aspects of the problem, and to prepare even for those meetings with stakeholders. Because yes, of course, you can collect information from your meetings with stakeholders. You can ask them questions. You can ask them, tell me how you usually do this. However, a background information that you can collect in advance can help you be better prepared. Ask better questions. And don't ask them something like really basic that you should know. So you need access to information. If you just joined the company, if you just joined the project, make sure you ask about it. Can you please provide me with artifacts, with documents, with project background, etc., etc. And as you go through the project, still you should expect access to information. If you need more data about certain scenarios, or if you need some statistics, or if you need information from the marketing department and their recent customer surveys, whatever you need, you should be able to get it. So don't be shy to ask for information. Ask your stakeholders. If your stakeholders don't have it or can't provide it or are not providing it, talk to your project manager or your scrum master. They need to back you up. You need information for analysis. Next thing is time. To do good analysis, you need time. To be able to process that information we just talked about, you need time. You need to be able to read the documents, to analyze the data, to compare the information, to just digest it, compare things. You need time to be able to add value, right? Because your value is not just capturing things that you hear in the meetings. That's just note-taking. Your main value is analyzing what you collected through meetings or artifacts analysis or data analysis, and then digesting that and trying to extract important requirements from it, trying to identify the gaps, trying to see what the root cause of the problem is, and so on. So you need time for analysis, and especially you need time before the meetings. Okay, and in our BA Mindset Mentorship Circle, sometimes we talk about how to run efficient meetings, how to facilitate meetings, and so on. And I hear this again and again. Oh, I have so many back-to-back meetings. I don't have time to prepare for my meetings. So this is where I want to tell you, if you as an analyst run a lot of meetings, you need time between meetings. First of all, to prepare for the next one, to collect information, to help others prepare, because often you need other people to bring some information or results of analysis to that meeting. So you need time before the meeting to plan it and to be ready, sometimes even to create drafts of diagrams or jot down a few potential requirements that you want to discuss. Then after the meeting, again, you need time to review the results, to analyze what you received, to capture things, to create diagrams, to update diagrams, to go and update the backlog. If you don't process what you heard in a meeting and you have more and more meetings after, by tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, some of that information will get lost. Because even though we take notes in the meeting, we always have to digest it later in a calm space, in a space that actually helps you to think. Because part of your job is thinking. You may need quiet time to do that. And if you don't have time between meetings, you're not going to be doing analysis. You'll just be running meetings and that's it. So if you, for example, based on your project structure, if you have to run a lot of meetings, imagine you have a whole month of intense requirements workshops. If those requirement workshops are 2 hours in length, you need at least a couple of hours in between to digest, to document, to prepare, to follow up, and then get ready for the next one. If you are running one-day workshops, ideally, you shouldn't have more than 3 of those in a week. So say Monday, you're running a workshop. Tuesday, you have time to digest, prepare, analyze, get ready for the next one, discuss little things with individual people, and do all of that analysis. On Wednesday, you run another workshop. On Thursday, again, you have your thinking and analysis day. And then maybe half of the day, Friday, you'll run another one. Ideally, the rule of thumb, you need as much time to analyze and follow up after a long meeting as you have to run a meeting. So if you are not given that time, again, you have to advocate for your needs. You have to talk to your project manager, your functional manager, or whoever in your situation, is able to accommodate that and explain. If you need time for analysis, for meeting prep, for looking up data, for running reports, for creating diagrams, for updating backlogs, for updating requirements, documents, or reviewing them, for asking people for more information, responding to that. So all of those analysis activities that need to happen between meetings require time, okay? And you have to advocate it, otherwise you will not do quality analysis. Next question. The other important thing that you need is access to stakeholders. So information sometimes can be gathered through existing documentation or the knowledge base, or sometimes you'll even research and get a lot of information from your company's website or intranet or product documentation or maybe policies and procedures. So there is a lot of information that you can collect even without necessarily interviewing stakeholders, right? However, at some point, you need access to talk to people, to ask them for clarifications, to clarify the gaps, to ask them how things really happen, because it doesn't always happen exactly the way it's captured in documentation. Right? Documentation is never complete. And that access to stakeholders is very valuable. You need to be able to talk to them, especially if you are, say, a full service like outsourcing agency and your stakeholders may be in another location, in another country, in another time zone. You still need access to them. You may be much more strategic about how you prepare for those meetings because maybe your access will be limited. So you need to do as much research as possible in advance. And by the way, I have a whole video about how to engage business stakeholders where I give you various ideas about how to extract the most from maybe limited time that you have with your stakeholders. But you still need that access. If you have a stakeholder that just sends you emails once in a while and you never see them, chances are you're not really going to understand their requirements properly. You're not going to have that connection. There's the chance for miscommunication and misinterpretation is much higher. So make sure that your project provides sufficient access to stakeholders for anyone involved in business analysis. And finally, my last point of today, and these are just 4 of the most important items. They're not all, but 4 of the most important items for today that I want to cover. So the first one was information. The second one was time. The third one was access to stakeholders. And number 4 is support. Whether you're junior or senior, you need support. It might come at different times. As a junior BA, you may need mentorship support from someone who can help you when you are about to make a mistake, or where you're not sure how to proceed, or where you have to deal with these difficult stakeholders, you don't know them well, or maybe just you don't have enough expertise in doing a specific type of business analysis diagram or applying a certain technique. So sometimes you need that mentoring support, a little bit of coaching. That's one type of support. Another type of support is to back you up. For example, when you have to ask for stakeholder time, that support means that your project manager talks to the stakeholders or their sponsor and says, look, we really need so many hours of time. Here's our plan. Here's what we need to do. It's very important for the success of the project. We need to ensure this. We need to approve that. We need to validate something else. We need to understand business rules, provide them with justification, but back you up. And by the way, as a bad example, I've known of a manager who told their BA, okay, just go and talk to them. They want to do this and this. It shouldn't take you more than 2 hours. Please don't do that if you are a manager of a business analyst, because first of all, you probably don't know how long is it going to take yet. That sounded very, very superficial. And you are pretty much setting up your business analyst for a failure if you already gave someone these expectations that they only need to give this business analyst 2 hours of their time. Or let them investigate and figure out. And by the way, in that particular case, business analyst needed a couple of months, because actually it turned out, when he started to ask questions, it turned out that the problem was much more complicated than it sounded at the first glance. So you need sometimes support from your manager to back you up when you need time, when you need access to stakeholders, when you need information. Sometimes you need their support if there is a conflict situation on a project. You can try to resolve it yourself, and sometimes we as business analysts can resolve conflicts and can negotiate and navigate those. But there are occasions where there is some political tension where you really need someone else to step in, and it's totally fine to ask for support and backup, or to ask for someone else to help you handle it or take it on. So don't think that you always have to deal with things alone. You can count on support. That's why we have teams. That's why we have leaders. That's why we have project managers and product owners and executive sponsors. Sometimes we do go to our business sponsor or executive sponsor if we have a major difficulty, because eventually that business sponsor, that business executive that funds the project, that provides business resources, they are also interested in the success. If they are not able to provide their project people with support, then they probably are not very committed to the project. So you might end up in a situation, for example, you discovered a major gap and there is a bit of a dissonance in terms of whether to deal with it or hide it or deal with it later. You may need to go to the sponsor and ask them for their support or their guidance, and they should be able to provide it to you. And if they don't, or if you happen to be in a situation where there is no support, you ask for support, you don't get it, and everyone is just pushing you to do more without any help, in that case, you might actually consider whether it's the right place for you to develop your business analysis career, because you do need support. You need that environment that helps you to do a good job, and you feel good, you feel satisfied, and you can actually deliver results. So the point of my video today is to convey to you that yes, you can advocate for your needs as a business analyst, and you should advocate for your needs, because those are not your personal needs. Those are the things you need to be able to do a good job, which is for the best of the project itself. But sometimes others are not realizing that this is what you need. So it's not necessarily because they're maliciously unsupportive or because they want to run you down and extract every single ounce of your energy. Maybe they just don't know that you need that time between workshops. You have to tell them professionally, respectfully, with justification, and you can do it well because you're a business analyst. Tell them what you need, outline it, explain why, and then of course deliver. Once you're given that, deliver and do your best job. And this is one of those secrets of your success, to set you up for success by having access to information, time, stakeholders, and support. I hope that it gives you some inspiration to advocate more for your needs as a business analyst. For more mentorship, for more ideas about development of your business analysis skills, for BA tips and tools and techniques, how to handle difficult stakeholders, or how to deal with difficult project members, or with complex situations, or with complex implementations, and so on, check out our BA Mindset Mentorship Circle. We do meet weekly, and even though we are taking a break for summer, we will start again in September. We have a really rich video library. You can subscribe to this video library and follow along and watch all of the recordings of our previous meetups. I'll leave the information down below. And if you have any other question about business analysis, about how to get better, about difficult situations that you found yourself in as a business analyst, please add them to the comments, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can with some ideas and answers, or maybe another video. For now, take care, all the best, and see you next time.